Hello everybody and welcome. This is a project that is going to happen between Sally, Christine and myself, and it is some form of necklace. And this is one idea, and I have another idea up my sleeve, so whether I add this to my video now or a separate video altogether, I'm not too sure. So what am I doing? Well, I've got beads, wooden beads. They're about 2 centimetre across when you lay them flat down on the board. I got them from Spotlight in Australia. I've got thread, scissors, pencil, some other thread in case you need it, and I'll show you what that is in a minute. And that's just my leftover thread, from when I cut my fabric. So this is the fabric I use, some Liberty Lassen by cotton. It's not the tannin lawn, so it's a little bit thicker, so I'm hoping it will work, but it's beautiful. Right, all my buttons are rolling away, so I'll get my special little patty pans. If you ever find these, grab them because they make great little things to put things in so they don't roll away. And I would love some more if I found some. Right, I'll just sit down now because it's easier. So I have cut out my strip, and my strip is about 3 centimetres plus the tiniest little bit of seam. But you'd have to figure out your beads because this is going on my own bead that I've got here. Obviously you can get all sorts of beads, so what you can do is do I have a strip there? No, I'll just use this fabric here to explain how I got the diameter. I have to have the fabric up the right way or else it confuses me. I put the bead down and I rolled the fabric over, and what I did was I pinched the fabric to where I seem to think the seam allowance will be, like that, and then I just marked, on the other side with a pencil there. And if you find that it's too tight, I would just add a little bit, and then you can always bring it in, but you can't take it out if you haven't got any more fabric. So I've done my estimation. And my bead goes in. Now it goes in fairly freely, but it's still quite tight, and that's what you want because you have to feed the bead through the fabric when you. So this is obviously on the inside. I've just put now you can do this by hand, but I've done mine by machine today. It's a little bit crooked there, unless that's just my cutting. So I've turned it inside out. I just had an interruption, sorry. I've turned it in the inside out, and I'm ready to feed my beads through. Now they are a bit tight, but that's what I want. Now you have to measure whereabouts you want the beads and the center. So let's figure that out as well. Let's just feed the. Now you will get a little bit of stretching of the stitching, so if you hand stitch this, you'd have to really make sure that your hand stitching is quite good because you don't want it to split open. I probably should have gone over twice with the I might just stop the video and go over the stitching twice so it doesn't want to come undone. I'll be back. I've done the two edges. I've done the edge, sorry. I've re-stitched it. It's a bit crinkly now, but that's all right because you're going to crinkle it anyway. So if you want to put the stitching in the middle, because you don't want that on the front face, you want it on the back. or even possibly to the side. Let me think. Yeah, you probably want it to the side. Now I haven't created this necklace, so this is what it is. I might start and stop a few times because, you know, I haven't got what I needed or something like that. I want you to experience what I'm experiencing. Yeah, I think maybe it might be better. I should have ironed this, but it's going to get crinkled when I tie it. So I'm just flattening it out, pinching it together with my fingers and just flattening it out. Just knock everything off. So I forgot to ask you, how is everybody going? I've had a great weekend. It's been great. I did some burning off at my father-in-law's because he's got a property. So we'll just fold that in half, get my friction marker and put the center in. Now I had thought about putting this bead in for the center, but I really don't think I'm going to get that through, and I don't think it's going to take because it's too tight. And it's sort of going through. I'm twisting it. There we go. So that's the bead gone through there. Twist that back round. See, this way. Right, I don't know whether that's going to look any good. I have no idea. Right, so let's see if that's the center. Just about there. So that wasn't too bad. I twisted the ends really tightly and fed it through, and it went through no problems. You probably could do it with these, but I don't want to. So tie a knot on either side. This is probably why you need it quite long, because by the time you tie all the knots, it takes up the fabric. What am I doing? It takes up the fabric and makes your necklace shorter. Am I filming? Yep. I just thought I wasn't then for a minute. So pull all the way down because you want to be able to have as much fabric as you can. Okay, so that's one. That's that bit. This may not look any good. So if it doesn't, I'd have to unpick everything and do it again. So we'll see what happens. I'm not stressing myself out because it's not going to work, because it will work. Right. Oh, I need to move that out the way. Feed that bead through. And there we have it. Now, if you don't want to tie a knot in it, I'm sure there would be other ways that you would be able to do it. You could stitch something in. Now, this bead is being a bit annoying and not going in, but you have to force it in. That's why I wanted to do the double stitching. It's a bit tight in some areas. Just like that one. It's not going to go through. Oops, I just popped popped the it will go through. I might have to stop the video because maybe this one is a little bit bigger than the others. Maybe I went a bit too tight when I'll swap it over for one of the other ones. That other one went through, no problems. Might put you over there. I can see that one's probably a little bit bigger. This one seems to go through a lot better. Still a little bit tight at that part. Let me stop the video. Oh, there we go. This is a bit tight at that part. So when you do the double seam, you just got to make sure that you do this double seam on the same part of your stitching. Okay, so we have 2 here. So what you could do is tie a knot there, or you can twist and you could do some threading. There goes the whole thing on the floor. Let's see if this will work. So I'm just twisting it now. Going to poke. Oh, now the threads come off. Sorry about this. Right. Pull it through, leave a bit of a tail. Just trying to work out what I'm doing. You could just tie a knot and I can get myself organized. I've gone quiet because I'm concentrating, as I know sometimes you can't hear me, so I forget I need to speak up. So you could get rid of that. You could just keep going round and round. And then that would tie that off, and then you could stick your bead through there. But I'm going to stick with the knots, so that's another idea you could do. Right, so tie a knot. Obviously try and make it and pull it all the way down as far as you can go. Tie a knot on this side. Well, don't forget to hold the knot, and it might be a good idea to twist the fabric. Oh, there we go again. Twist the fabric. Let me start again. Oh, my fingers are not working today. Sometimes they get a bit stiff. I think hopefully it's not arthritis. So twist that, and don't forget to hold it down towards the bead, and pull that. So that's that lot. Let's try and go for another bead. Hopefully this one will work. It's definitely a tighter one there. I need to pick up the thread because it's getting bigger and bigger. You can do all sorts of different colours. You could get something from your stash and tie in between. You could, what have I got here? I'm just trying to think, what have I got? Just let me get this here. Obviously when you're doing stuff, ideas come to your brain, and so you have to investigate it. You could, if you wanted to, get some other fabric and you could tie, where's that bead gone? Okay, let's try and do that. Now it's coming through the tight part, so that's good. You could, I don't know if you could do it with that. I have some nice ribbon here. Let's just get rid of that fabric because that's not going to work. We're all getting tangled up everywhere. You could put some ribbon on. You could turn that into a bow. Oh. If I can turn it into a bow, obviously you'd make it quite small. There we go, and you just chop those ends off, and you could just leave it into a knot and let these hang down. If you wanted to, you could possibly get some bigger ribbon. Let me find something. I'm not quite sure what I'm trying to find. Oh, that's not meant to be in there. If you wanted to, you could tie the knot. You could tie it maybe with some string. Then you could add what are these called? A daisy to it. Somehow, if it will go on like that, chop that off and then still tie the knot. And you'd have an or you could stick the flower in between the two bows, but maybe that's a little bit big. You'd probably want something that's a bit tinier, like one of these. You could stick that in between. You could hot glue gun it. You've got lace. You could tie it with a little bit of lace as well. And you could have those dangling down, so you could have little dangle down bits as you're going along, or you could tie it all up and then do that afterwards. There are these things, these ideas are just coming to my head as I'm sitting here. Like I said, nothing is prepared. I'm doing it as you're watching it, because I feel that I'm a more creative person when I'm on the fly with something. I've got velvet, if you wanted to. You could put a bit of velvet there and use that as like a little spacer, and then close that off, and then put your bead there. Right, so let's get back to it. So what do we got here on this side? Right, it seems better when I twist it. Seems better, what am I trying to say? It seems better when I twist it to make the knot tight. And just pull that and keep pulling it until it's tight, because you want more fabric. And if this becomes too short at this end here, you can always add fabric to the end. You could always put in, the ribbon's a little bit too big, but you could always, oh, that's velvet. You could always add ribbon to the end of your piece. So what have we got? Two that side and two this side. So another one of these. This bead is good. Let's twist. And tie. Doesn't look too bad actually. Don't mind that bit in the middle. Okay, so how many more beads have I got? You don't want beads all the way up the top of the... This one's a bit tight. So we'll leave that one to the end because I think it's better at the end. I had 10 beads altogether, so 5 on each side and 5 on the other side. I didn't twist that one, but it looks not too bad. I thought this necklace was going to be a lot bigger with the beads. Obviously you could do different size beads. I have a tray of beads that are old, so that one went really well. So I have a tray, some beads over there that are decorative beads. If you don't like any particular beads, this is a good way of getting rid of your beads that you don't like. So there's 3, 4, 5. I think I'm missing a bead. What's that? Oh, that's a bit of ribbon. I thought I had 10. I'm missing a bead, so a bead has run away. It's probably somewhere on the floor. Right. Let's try and get this bead in. I think this is a bead. It's a bit big. I'm going to stop the video, I think, now, and I'll come back with it finished, because the process is the same. I'll do that. So I'm back at feeding my beads on, and what I've discovered that is when you put the beads on, there obviously are those little holes. So you want to try and make sure that your holes aren't facing, well, there's a seam there. So yeah, you've just got to figure it out which way is the best to twist so you can hide the seam. And see, there's a little hole from the bead. It needs to be in a sort of a different direction, unless you twist them. You just have to basically play around with the whole thing to get the beads looking right. Now, when I put this on my neck, now this is the width of fabric. So selvage to selvage is the width of fabric, and that's how long it was. So, and it was, what did I say, 3 centimeters, to show you the rest of my necklace. My video ran out on my I ran out of memory on my iPad, so I had to use my phone. And I just don't know where I was up to. So I've been away a little bit, get rid of my thimble, and I've done the finished product is finished. So I will show you the process. Now what I did when I did the ends to attach this part, at the beginning, remember, I sewed up into there and left that opened so you could feed the bead in. Well, I left it open. Then what I did was I peeled it back and exposed the inside, and then I squashed it over the inside, and then I was able to sew a thinner part of the fabric to meet the trim. And I did that on both sides. There you can see there, see how it's just gone in a little bit here, there. So I did that on both sides, and then I pushed that in and then sewed over the top. And then what else did I do? And then I decided that this was a little bit plain, so I got some trim, some lace trim, whatever you want to call it, and I had just enough, had that piece there. I cut it in half, and then I just hand stitched it on, and a little bit of it is sticking up, but that's fine, I don't mind that. And so that is my necklace done. So let me have a look and see what it looks like on the camera. So there you are. So I'll just bring that down, and that just goes over my neck like that. There's no knots, no clasps at the back of my neck, and I'm really, really pleased with it. I don't think there's anything I would change apart from the beads, making sure that the holes on the side here, which that one is, you can see the little hole. Not worry about my awful nails. And so when that's sitting down, that is flush with the hard part of the wood with no hole in it. So you see that one there has got a bit of a hole there. Not a bit, that's the hole, so I can't turn that. So next time if I make another one, I'll just make sure that the hole is on the sides of the fabric. And if that bothers me, what I can do is go along and maybe put something over the top. Excuse me. So that is my necklace. Oh, I'm lost for words today. So that's my necklace there, and thank you very much for watching. And I want to thank, just a minute, I have to bring it up on my phone. It won't be a moment. I want to thank Rochelle from Gladys and Maud D Stash. She had some necklaces on here and gave me the idea of making a necklace. There we are. That's her beautiful necklaces there. If you're interested in getting some of her necklaces or on her D-Stash page, please go over and like her page. And she's also on YouTube as well. Let me see what she is under her YouTube name. I think that's the same. YouTube. I'll just get it up. It might not come up. There we go. That's her YouTube page. So, oh, why am I not subscribed? Oh, that's because I'm going through the internet, not through the actual YouTube app. So head on over to her page. She has some lovely videos there of making things. She also shows some of her things for sale on there as well. And they're quite a long video to watch, which is quite enjoyable when you just want to sit and stitch and listen. So I want to thank you very much. I want to thank Sally and Christine for also doing this collaboration. I'm the last video to be shown, and I'm sure there'll be other videos in the future. Thanks for watching.